Well, again, it's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post here in our Hercules Tire Studios, and joining us from the home base of operations up in Pennsylvania, Ashley Stremme. Hello, Ashley. Good to see you virtually here today.
Always, and of course we're talking sprint cars, so it makes it even better.
No doubt about it. We are going to talk to Dominic Scelzi. What a weekend he is coming off from, and we'll talk about how things are going for him out in California. But also this past weekend was the Outlaws versus the Posse, and well, Ashley, it looked competitive, but when we got to the end of the day with the scorecard, it was Outlaws 3, Posse 0.
It's true. Unfortunately, the depth of the PA Posse is lacking in the 35 to 45 age range. For whatever reason, that area, that age range is missing, and I think that's kind of the strength of the Posse over the last few years. But of course, you've got guys like Macri and DeWeese all showing up, just not in the right position.
Yeah, I think we always talk about this. How does the Posse look speed-wise? And we went into this year thinking they look pretty good speed-wise, and I think they do. I think they just need to make sure that they're flawless. And when you look at when you look at Marks at Lincoln, he got tangled up with a lap car of Danny of all people, a lap car. When you look at Lance, he had a bad qualifying run on Saturday night. One mistake, but honestly, Ashley, the way the world of outlaws, one mistake, it doesn't matter who you are, and you could be out of business. That's how tough things are with the Outlaws these days.
It's true, and the Outlaws have maybe double the amount of races that the Posse have under their belt. So this time of year is always difficult for the Posse because they're still trying to figure out their race cars and the racetracks and what to expect, where the Outlaws have so many laps underneath their belt already.
Well, and that's a good point, too. And when you think about Williams Grove has been rained out so much time, they not only have fewer races, but fewer races there at the Grove, which historically has caused the Posse to have maybe a little home track advantage there. So all good stuff, but I feel really confident as we go into later on in the year, the Posse is going to represent well. That is for sure. And speaking of representing well, how about out in the state of California? Dominic Scelzi, it was the Peter Murphy Classic at Tulare at Thunderbolt Raceway. Him and Bud Kading mixing it up. Our buddy Bobby Jarrell with the call on Flow Racing.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Bud Kading and Dominic Scelzi putting on a good show here in the Peter Murphy Classic. Once again, it's Scelzi to the inside. Once again, he takes the lead from Bud Kading. Kading cuts it back down the back straightaway. They drag race into 3. Kading's got it, but here comes Dominic one more time to the inside. Good stuff up front. Dominic Scelzi's going to lead lap number 24.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Def, the official def of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride, passion, performance. We are Team Dryden.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. We're going to the Hercules Tire Hotline where arguably the top driver, the hottest driver in North America right now, joins us after 4 wins this past weekend. Dominic Scelzi is on the line. Hello, Dominic. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
How are we doing, guys?
Well, we are doing well. I don't even know where to begin with you because, as we mentioned, you swept the weekend, 410s and 360s. It was the Peter Murphy Classic. Just describe where you're at right now after an incredible weekend.
I've been pitching myself for the last, I don't even know how many hours, since Friday night, really. I mean, we go into Friday and, somehow, some way we pull off the 410 win and then the 360 win, and that was incredible, unbelievable. And then to roll into Saturday and do it all over again, and it, by no means was it an easy walk in the park. I mean, me and Bud Kading and Shane Galvik, we were throwing haymakers going at it. I mean, racing to win it or wear it. And, you know, we were just, you know, able to get it done in that one. And then on the last one, we were kind of joking around like, hey, we've come this far. We can't mess it up now. Like, there's no way we can mess it up now. And we rolled in and we won 4 for 4. So I'm sure that's happened before somewhere, but in my lifetime, I've never seen or heard of anyone doing that. So it was very cool. It's something that's so special. And for it to be at the Peter Murphy Classic, to me, there's very few races that come as close in sentimental value for me. So it's been, man, it's been a whirlwind of emotion.
You definitely made history this weekend, sweeping the Peter Murphy Classic. No one else has ever done that. And Dominic, you mentioned Bud, swapping the lead with Bud numerous times. You're actually our Dry Dean Move of the Week this week with that. What's it like racing with such an iconic family and throwing, like you said, haymakers with him and Shane to come out on top 4 times?
It's unbelievable. You know, I mean, we were not given anything this weekend. Every race was earned with, you know, the most, you know, out of control, hard racing that I've ever had to basically do. And, you know, racing with Bud, he is so talented, and he lost the 2019 Peter Murphy, which is the last one we were able to have. He lost it in turn 4. So he was leading the race. He got into the wall in turn 2 on the last lap, and then went to turn 3. And the right rear went down, and he hit the wall, and he crashed about 50 feet before the finish line. And that wears on a guy. So I knew that he was going to be tough. I knew that he was going to want it bad. You know, Shane Galbic has won it before. Kyle Hurst had won it before. Pretty much everyone that we were racing with had all won the Peter Murphy. And me, you know, a lot of people don't know the backstory, but Peter Murphy was my crew chief after he was injured. Peter Murphy was my first job away from my parents. I did stickers and kind of cleaned up his race shop and stuff as he was kind of recovering from his injuries. So Peter and I have been extremely close. I broke my back at the Peter Murphy Classic, the inaugural Peter Murphy Classic at Tulare. So there's just a lot that ties this race into me very emotionally. And, you know, actually I'm meeting Peter for lunch today. So him and I are really good friends. To, you know, run around in second for so much of the race, and I had got by Bud a couple times and the yellows came out. I think on that last restart with 10 or 11 to go, I just talked to myself as we were going down the back straightaway with the lights out. And it was just like, we've got the race car, we've got the position. It's just going to be a matter of who wants it more. And I need to damn well make sure that nobody wants it more than me right now. And lucky enough, it played out that it worked like that.
It is amazing. It really is. A couple of years ago, Dominic, you had shared with us the plan. You were going to stay close to home in California, the family business, the truck business there with your dad. You were going to put your arms around that and do that. You were going to go racing. But in the meantime, Jimmy Carr, who long time had a lot of success with Tony Stewart Racing, he indicated he wanted to move back to the West Coast. Getting Jimmy to come on board with you to oversee the operation, what has that been like, and what has that meant to you to have such a rock running your program for you so you can be businessman Dom during the week and race car driver on the weekend?
I'll tell you right now, Jimmy Carr is the baddest man with a wrench in his hand. It is incredible driving the race cars he's given me. I mean, I've worked with a lot of amazing people. I've driven a lot of great race cars with awesome mechanics, but nobody has ever gotten me as comfortable as Jimmy has. And it's every night, everywhere we go. It doesn't matter where we're at, what we do. He just has such a good handle of what the race car does that I jump in it and I'm comfortable every time I hit the racetrack. So it's a blessing to be able to work with a guy so talented as Jimmy. And, you know, I mean, he just gives me an awesome car every night. And it's made my confidence go through the roof. And I feel our results really show how good we are. I mean, we've raced a little bit here and there in California over the years. We've never been this successful. We've never been this fast. We've never been this dominant. And, I put it all to Jimmy. I mean, you know, I feel like I'm racing really good, but that's because of the confidence. That's because of the confidence that I have every night in the race car doing what I'm wanting it to do. And I don't have to go in there and, oh man, I'm a little bit tight. I'm going to have to make up for, oh man, I'm a little bit free. Like this thing's just awesome every night. And it's been very eye-opening. You know, I feel like you look at guys like Brad Sweet. I mean, how on earth can someone dominate the way he's dominating the Outlaw Tour when, I mean, I feel like my car right now is the best I've ever had it. And I know if he came to town, he'd kick my ass. So it's very humbling, you know, winning these races and running as well as we have, as exciting and as much confidence you build, is also very humbling.
Man, it's fun to watch for us, that's for sure. Hey, hang in there, Dominic. Everyone else stick around. More with Dominic Scelzi in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. On the Hercules Tire Hotline is the current reigning Peter Murphy Classic champion. Dominic Scelzi is on the line. And Dominic, we spent a lot of time in the first segment talking racing. Want to go off the racetrack a little bit. You are an expecting father. How is that process rolling along as you get closer and closer to fatherhood?
Boy, it's coming along quick. Last night, actually, I was exhausted. I think I was in bed by 7 o'clock, 7:30, because I'm kind of getting into the dad routine now, taking your nap, going to bed early, snoring, all that kind of stuff. No, hey, don't turn that off. I was still watching that. All that kind of stuff I've been really practicing. And last night, as we were laying in bed, I've got my hand on Nicole's stomach, and, this baby is kicking and banging around and rolling around. It's like, oh, my gosh, this little guy or girl, whatever it's going to be, they're right there. It's so exciting. I think we're 8 weeks away right now from the due date, which if they're anything like me or Nicole, I'm sure this little one's going to be here probably in 6 weeks or 7 weeks. But I'm so excited. It's something that I think, honestly, when we found out that we were going to be parents, we were over the moon excited and extremely surprised as well. But now it's real, and now we've got this excitement. We've got a new house that we're moving into here any day. There's so much going on in my life that I'm so happy with where I'm at. I really am.
And you have every right to be. It's absolutely awesome. Dominic, you talk about Nicole and this baby coming. I love that, you have a surprise. You don't know if it's a boy or girl right now. So that's so exciting. But is there anything odd that Nicole or you have been craving?
You know what? The other day, and everyone asks about like, oh, is she craving anything? Is she craving anything? And I'm like, no, it hasn't been that bad. And then I started thinking, it was 9 o'clock at night the other day, and she was calling, asking about beans and weenies. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, did you go to the store and pick up beans and weenies? I'm like, it's 9 o'clock at night. What do you mean? Well, I really want them. So I go to the Save Mart down the street and get beans and weenies at 9 o'clock. And that's kind of been her thing, is beans and weenies, cutting up hot dogs and putting them in there. And then it's crazy the amount of stuff she doesn't like. She doesn't like steak right now. She hasn't really liked pasta, all the stuff that usually we eat all the time. And she's like kind of been off put by it. And then, I love sushi. And I love all food. Everyone can see that. But we used to always go to sushi all the time. And now she never wants to go to sushi because she craves it so bad. And apparently you're not supposed to eat raw fish when you're pregnant. So she's like, I just want sushi. I just want to smell it. I want to see it, but you can't eat it. So it's kind of been funny on the stuff she's craved and not. And, I've always tried to be pretty good about getting her whatever she wants.
Attaboy. Happy mom. That's what you need. Happy wife, happy life. That's for sure. Hey,
that's correct.
You mentioned sushi a week or so ago. You tweeted about some joint in Fresno that's sushi. What makes a good sushi joint?
Oh my gosh! So this place is I don't want to call it a hole in the wall, but it's kind of hidden, and it's in the back of this little almost like there's a couple restaurants there, but they're all very specific restaurants, like an Italian restaurant that is, full blown, just real Italian authentic food, a great steakhouse, and then you have Kamari, this sushi restaurant. And over COVID, I had become friends with the sushi chef and the owner. And unfortunately, Tom passed away from a fluke accident on New Year's Day. And the sushi chef there, who was a third owner, Eddie, he's taken over ownership. And him and I have become really good friends. He actually just got married last Sunday. And we've just kind of become buddies. And I go in there every week, twice a week sometimes. And he flies his fish in every other day. So the fish is the freshest that I've had anywhere. I've had a lot of sushi at a lot of different places, and probably places I probably shouldn't even have had it. Missouri, not the freshest tuna. I'm going to tell you that right now. But this place, it's so fresh. It's so good. And, you know, he came here I think he was 13 years old from Hong Kong. And, I mean, he taught himself how to cook. He just did it all by himself. He came here alone. And it's just cool to see a guy make it from nothing. And, I mean, I go there all the time. I mean, you guys see me tweet about tacos or lasagna or whatever, but I'm definitely a foodie. So there's a lot of restaurants around here that I go to quite often because there's just amazing food and amazing people. And it seems like everywhere I go, I always make friends.
That's because you're so likable, Dom. That's what everybody loves about you is you're just a good, awesome, fun-loving guy. And to stay on the food deal, obviously the taco truck has been a joke for quite a while now. And you had an incredible shirt for taco trucks that I missed out on, and I'm very devastated about that. But when is Dad going to build you a truck so you can have your own taco food truck?
You know, we've actually talked about it. We've kicked the idea around of getting like an old food truck and then selling T-shirts out of it, and then also selling like tacos out of it. And I don't know. We may not have given up on that yet. I think that would be something very fun and pretty neat to do, especially now that fans are starting to be able to come back to the races out here. I think it would be a hit. Something I'm going to look more into. And then, you know, once I have my kid here, I mean, by 3 or 4, they should be able to know how to work a grill. So I've got free labor. And, yeah, I mean, they may not be able to drive it, but Nikki could drive it. My kid could work it. And I got free labor on 2 fronts, and I'll be making all kinds of money.
Man, got that sprint car sponsored. It's just easy as that. That's for sure.
That's exactly right.
Dominic, it is always a pleasure to chat with you, especially after a weekend like that. Well, we've never chatted with you after a weekend like this. We used to chat. I'll share with everyone. We used to chat with Dominic. We used to have to sneak him out of school to the teacher's lounge to call into Wing Nation years ago. It is such a thrill to see you having the success, Dominic. Congratulations, and we appreciate the time as always.
Thank you guys very much. It's been one heck of a 10-year ride, I guess. I mean, I love coming on the show, and man, if you look back, there's been a lot of different shows and a lot of different changing throughout my life over the last 10 years. So glad to be able to experience this.
No doubt. Congratulations again. Thanks, Dominic.
Thank you, guys.
There we go. Dominic Scelzi joining us here on Wing Nation on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week and a lap around the sprint car world are coming up.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is time for the Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week. And this week it is a video coming from Williams Grove Speedway. The tweet comes from none other than Steve. Awesome little video here. It is golden hour at the Grove, and Danny Dietrich sailing off into 1 and 2 there. Absolutely beautiful sight at Williams Grove with that sunset.
Sunshine and sprint cars. Boy, that's a good combination. And Danny Dietrich, that's pretty good in there as well. Hey, let's take a lap around the sprint car world. Kind of catch up with what's going on in some of the corners. The All-Star Circuit of Champions, the Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions. Pair of really neat winners last weekend, Ashley. Friday night, Lake Odessa, Michigan, I-96 Speedway. 2-time USAC National Sprint Car. That's the non-wing champion, Tyler Courtney. He got his first win as an All-Star.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I expected Tyler to have a win before now after the season they came off of last year, but still absolutely incredible what they're doing. Saturday, it was the dirt oval at Route 66 at Joliet, and your winner was Kyle Reinhardt. He's an engineer from New Jersey, believe it or not.
Yeah, he moved to Pennsylvania. He gave up an engineering job, moved to Pennsylvania to be a sprint car driver, and now he's winning races. How about that for a career ride? That is fantastic for sure. Into turn number 2 we go. Our friends at Jackson Motorplex, one of the neatest places on the planet, up and running this past Friday night. They're going to do a specials only format, but Friday night they had the Bull Haulers Brawl for the 410 NOSA Sprints and winner Brian Brown. But Ashley, you're going to experience something special coming up in June with their headliner this year.
Yes, it is the showdown, June 24th through the 26th with Huset's earlier in the week. It's going to be an awesome week racing at Huset's Monday, Tuesday, then Jackson for the Nationals Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I am excited to not only go, but to scratch 2 tracks off my bucket list.
It's going to be a great week, that's for sure. Wing Nation will be there all week long. Down the back straightaway we go into turn number 3. Like talking about some of these smaller tours, like the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association, I think you can make a case that Ohio maybe has more sprint cars than any state in the country. When you look at Attica and Fremont, the Fast Series, Wayne County, Atomic, all these run. But in the southern part of the state, there is a little tour called the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association. Actually, they have 21 races scheduled for this year in Ohio and West Virginia.
Yeah, they're already 3 races into their season, and they're averaging about 26 cars every single week, so they're showing up for sure. The 3 winners they have so far are Tyler Street, Corey Crabtree, and Cole Duncan at Atomic. And their next race is Friday, May 28th at Ohio Valley Speedway.
That's in Washington, West Virginia. So neat to see that little corner of the world with 410 sprint cars. And finally into turn number 4. I am so excited about turn number 4 because it is the Weichert Memorial, Bob Weichert Memorial Weekend, presented by Packers Concession Stand next weekend at the Speed Palace, Port Royal, Ashley's home track. Saturday night, Weichert Memorial Fallen Heroes Championship night for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, $10,000 to win. And then Ashley, then they're getting serious on Sunday night.
That's right. With the Weichert Memorial, they honor that awesome Beef 29 car with $29,000 to win. Plus the Wingless Sportsmen will be there. Awesome weekend ahead. You can't miss the cornhole. You can't miss the donut pass out that we do every Sunday morning. It's just going to be an awesome weekend.
Yeah, pack the camper, bring the kids, bring the family, stock the cooler, and join us. Port Royal, it is nothing better than Weichert weekend. It's going to be weird, Ashley, because it's a home, I mean, it's always been a home game for you, but it's a real home game for you now.
Yes, I'm so excited. I know I always say that I'm so excited for the Weichert coming home, but this year I am home, and I only have to drive 1.5 miles up the street right now.
There we go. Wing Nation, presented by Dryden, will be live on stage both nights, Saturday and Sunday. You want to make sure we're there. We've got some great historic guests planned for our Saturday night show, and all the modern-day superstars are scheduled for our Sunday show. Flow Racing, Wing Nation on our Facebook page, and, of course, it's the Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions, the Weichert Memorial. We can't wait to get to the Speed Palace next weekend. Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
I'm not ready yet. Come on. All right, I'm ready now.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
I just Okay. I just stopped by to pick up my sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it looks like when you do it.
Ta-da!
Take a deep breath, count to 5. It's like running across a rhythm section at a motocross track.
Mine was perfect.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continuing on. We're so glad that you joined us. Ashley, you know, we talked a little bit, you and I did, before the show came on the air, and I asked you where you went to races this past weekend. You had indicated you went to Selinsgrove. Selinsgrove is another one of those tracks in central Pennsylvania. There's such a glutton of good racetracks up there, and apparently you hadn't been to Selinsgrove in a little bit because you're reporting that some of the changes they made you really liked?
Yes, so obviously, like you said, racetracks in central Pennsylvania are booming right now, and everyone's making everyone step up to the next level. And Selinsgrove is right there with everybody else. They have done so much with moving their pits outside. They've cleaned the place up. It was absolutely incredible there this weekend.
And again, I just want to mention this. Next weekend, we're live at Port Royal Speedway. We've got live shows, Wing Nation, presented by Dryden from the stage back there.
Make sure you pick up your Wing Nation gear at the All-Star Race at Port Royal. Get you a good, cute palm tree shirt, or my favorite. I love that orange shirt.
There we go. Hey, thanks to Dominic Scelzi for joining us. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here this week on Wing Nation.